If healing had side effects, a label of it, it would say dry phone, limited options, and low tolerance. That's what healing side effects would read. Because let's be honest, you have way less options. When you are healed, you have a way low tolerance. Everybody get on your nerves and you just like, nope, can't do it, can't do it. Don't care how fine you are, can't do it. Don't care how much money you got, can't do it, can't do it. I ain't gonna be able to do it. And your phone be dry. Yo, party people, it's Ashley of SingleWomanChronicles.com, where I provide a safe space for single women to heal, grow, and thrive. And today we're going to be talking about a subject we do not talk about enough, and that is the downside of healing. The things that people do not tell you about healing that people need to know about, okay? Just so they can be prepared, not so you won't want to heal, okay? But just so you can be prepared. Because if we are being honest, if healing had side effects, a label of it, it would say dry phone, limited options, and low tolerance. That's what healing side effects would read. Because let's be honest, you have way less options. When you are healed, you have a way low tolerance. Everybody get on your nerves and you just like, nope, can't do it, can't do it. Don't care how fine you are, can't do it. Don't care how much money you got, can't do it, can't do it. I ain't gonna be able to do it. And your phone be dry. Tumbleweed, desert, it's dry out here, okay? Because that's what healing does. But it's not a bad thing. Healing does that because when you are healed, you know yourself, you know what you're willing to deal with. And also you fought to get this healing. You fought to get this healed version of yourself. You fought to get this healing. So you can recognize when somebody's going to come in your life and try to ruin your healing, and you protecting that thing. So that's why the downside of healing looks like those side effects. But if you have found yourself in this moment and you have been healing and you are on your journey and you thought it would be different, you thought when I heal, life will open up for me. It's going to look like flowers, sunshine, and rainbows. I'm going to meet my person quicker. I'm going to have way better options. These options are going to come flowing fast. It's going to be beautiful, but that is not your current reality. This episode is for you because I get it. I've been there. Okay. Y'all know, if y'all know anything about me, for those who don't know, my journey has been very ghetto. So I grew up without a father, and growing up without a father and not having the best household just because I didn't have a lot of emotional support. I grew up with an anxious attachment style. I often talk about it. And also, nobody ever taught me how to date. Can we talk about how not being taught how to date really ruins a lot of things? Because when you are not taught how to date, you're really just out here winging it. You're out here winging it. You don't know what you're doing. You're bumping your head here, there, everywhere. And when you bump your head, you oftentimes don't know how to recover. So you use very unhealthy ways and mechanisms to recover. So for me, it was at a point where I did battle with using sex as my drug. I really wasn't drinking back then. I've never smoked before. So my vice was sex. And a long time ago, I talked about using sex as my coping mechanism. But of course, God redeems. Hallelujah. Been celibate for 8 years now. Hallelujah. But back then, that's what I did. So I came to the realization that, hey, baby, you need to heal. After my last toxic relationship, basically this relationship came at a time where I was very low in self-worth because I kept going through these dating patterns where I would meet a guy. Let's just say this. I've always been a lover girl. Literally my entire life, I have been a lover girl. I have been the girl who wanted to be in love. I was the girl who wanted to be in the relationship. I was the girl who always wanted a boyfriend. And that was just not my story. I didn't have a high school sweetheart. Even my first, that dude found out he cheated on me 3 weeks after he took my virginity. And it was devastating, of course. And that was the summer before going into freaking college. So I had no guidance on how to heal, no guidance on how to date. So of course, everything crashed and burned. So I was going about my goal to be a girlfriend, to like fall in love, all wrong, didn't know how, had no examples. My mom's married now, but she didn't get married till she was 50. So growing up, all I saw was a single mom. That's it. So I just was out here dating like very ghetto. So eventually I end up in this toxic relationship with a guy because at that point I was 24, I believe, 24, 25, and I had not had a serious relationship. And most of my relationships would be like 2 months long, 3 months long. It just wasn't given what needed to be given. And so I told myself the next guy who tries to be in a relationship with me, I'm just going to say yes to prove to myself that I can be in a relationship. So that's what I did. The next guy who came into my life and like pursued me, I said yes. I know it sounds crazy to you, but I was young. I was low in self-worth, low in self-esteem, just low. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and do this thing, right? Now, at this time, I did not have, this is my BC me, I had gotten baptized, but I hadn't gone and built a relationship with Christ for real. But when I prayed about this relationship, God told me no. And when he told me no, I was like, oh, I hear you, but I really want to be in a relationship and I'm going to just do it. Horrible idea. When God tell you no, just listen. Just listen to the no. Because the aftermath going to be very funky and very ghetto. So anyway, I end up in this relationship, get out the relationship. And after that, that's when like my celibacy journey started. And that's also when I started to heal first spiritually, building my relationship with God. Then I went to therapy. Okay. It's a beautiful thing when you have a spiritual and strong relationship with God. It's even more beautifuler. That's not a word, I know, but it's beautifuler when you go get that spiritual relationship with God and get that good relationship with that spiritual based therapist. Okay. So I got a Christ based therapist. They do exist. Wonderful lady, white lady. I've oddly never had a black therapist, but both of the therapists I had were one wonderful. One was white, one was Asian. Beautiful. Anyway, ended up healing. So I'm not going to lie to y'all. When I became celibate, first of all, I just knew I was going to have the Megan and Devon story. Now, their story didn't age well, but go slow, like come with me now. They had just wrote the book. She talked about how she became celibate. She met this man in 9 months. They was married. Boom, bam. Now, Devon, he had been celibate for like 13 years. But, I'm thinking I'm going to have my Meg like, listen, I've been out here going the wrong way. God is surely, as soon as I get up out here in these holy streets, he going to bless me with a husband. That's not what happened. I told y'all 8 years. Now, I started this journey, started healing and stuff. And I realized and I recognized that, hey, you don't have as many options as you used to have. Hey, you don't even get approached as much as you used to get approached. What's happening? This is not what I wanted it to be. I thought healed would look like quick meeting husband, like everything is going to be all right. I'm going to have the same friendships. This is going to be wonderful. Everything's going to work out. Because that's another thing. You think when you healing, everybody else around you healing too, but they not. You leaving them behind. So the way your new healed self is handling things, they're not handling things the same way. It's just a very ghetto experience when it catches you off guard. That's why I'm doing this episode, because when healing gets lonely, you're not only lonely because your phone dry, because the guys that you used to talk to and accept, you like, nope, not even going there because I already know where this is going to end up. Also, your friends be falling out, but that's a whole nother episode. But what do you do when you get to this point where healing feels lonely because everything seems to be falling apart after you healed? I'm going to give you how to keep going and how not to regret healing, because some days you'll be like, man, I feel like if I stayed the ghetto version of myself, life would be easier. And it probably would be. I'm just kidding. Nah, y'all know life easier now. But let me get into it. So thing number one, you have to grieve your old self. One thing I recognized when I got healed was I could not go the same places I used to go and hang with the same people I used to hang with. And that bothered me. Another thing that bothered me was I felt like if I had gotten healed sooner, that I could have avoided a lot of the BS, but also I could have maybe had better experiences with dating. So it was like that whole woulda, coulda, shoulda type situation. Regret making different decisions and regret making the wrong decision. So it was just a lot of grief I was coping with. So it's important to understand there will be grief that comes along with healing. And nobody talks about that. There's grief because you are a new person. And so a lot of stuff you used to enjoy, you're going to go into those environments and try to enjoy them. You're not going to enjoy them no more. And you're going to feel weird because you don't understand why you don't, but you don't. You're not going to enjoy the same conversations. You're just not. Some of the stuff you will, but a lot of stuff you won't. For example, for me, I used to be outside, like clubbing, smoking hookah, getting toe up from the flow up, me and school. Now, I still go out, but now when I go out, it's more so events. I might hit a day party every now and again. Now I am older now. This is like a decade ago. But even in that time, I realized when I used to go out, it just didn't hit the same. Or when I used to, okay, so I'm being real. Like if y'all on here, y'all family, I'm assuming y'all subscribed and y'all listen every week. Thank y'all. But let's keep it a buck. I used to be outside with the scammers when the scammers was taking over the city. This is when they would buy the sections. They would buy bottles. They was having bottle wars, going war, war on war in the club. When you get 5 bottles, okay, I'm going to order 10 and he going to order 15. Now you ordering 20. Now another dude ordering 50 over there. It was her bottle wars in the club. I used to be outside with them having a time. For all y'all who was too young during this time, I apologize. Because it was way better. it was way better. I know y'all make videos about how y'all missed out on the fun y'all did. I'm not gonna lie, y'all did. We had a time. And I would try to go in those atmospheres and hang out with those kinds of guys. It wasn't hitting the same. Because I wasn't the same. I was healed. I wasn't finna entertain them just to have a good time. Because here's a myth or a misconception. A lot of I'm not going to call them broke. A lot of let's say broke in, not broke. A lot of broken men feel like women are using them for their gold. They think a lot of women are gold diggers, that we're going out with them for free meals, etc., etc. Bookie, if your girl has a full-time job, a car, and her own home, she ain't going out with you for no free meal. I'm just letting you know. Now, what she will do is if you are the type of guy who just is providing experiences, she may overlook your flaws and continue to deal with you because the fun outweighs the BS until the BS starts outweighing the fun. Now, that might happen. So I know a lot in the past, I would be dealing with guys and I would think they were cool. But in my mind, I'm like, I can't see long term with you because your lifestyle and our values just don't match. So that was something I used to do. But after I got healed, I wasn't doing that no more. So I would go in these atmospheres, they popping bottles, and I'm just over there looking like Kev on stage at the parties when he just be blank faced. I wasn't enjoying it no more. Okay, just wasn't. Okay, so it's gonna come a period where you have to grieve your old self, and that's okay. So if you're in that period and you're like, why do I feel sad? I thought healing was supposed to feel joyful, peace. You do feel peace because you don't have a lot of the chaos going on because you cut that out quickly. But there is a sense of grief that does come with it. So you are not crazy. It happens. Give yourself a moment to grieve your old self and the old places and sometimes the old friends, relationships, and understand that you will come out of that. That will be okay. The second thing you need to do is embrace the new you and get to know that person. One of the biggest transitions I made was I stopped cussing. I know that may not sound like a huge deal to you, but if you knew me back then and you knew how I used to cuss, You be like, what? So now I recognized it the other day because I did something and I was like, oh crap. And when I said it, I started laughing because I was like, oh my God, I really don't cuss. Because you know if you cuss in your spirit or not, because when something bother you or if it's just something random, when you're by yourself, you're going to say, oh, S word or oh, B word or whatever. I just said, oh crap. That's such a huge transition for me because I used to be the cuss master. I used to cuss a nigga out from Monday to Sunday and turn back around on Sunday and cuss him out again till Sunday. That's how I used to roll. So sometimes when I would get in these situations with dusty men, I would want to cuss them out, but then the new me, this healed me, don't do that no more. So I would have to figure out how to read them for filth in other ways, which usually means welcoming them to a block party or double tapping the text and doing thumbs up. Because men hate nonchalant women. That don't nothing get a F-boy riled up more than nonchalance. Boy, I'm trying to tell you. You think them paragraphs do something? They don't. Send them, I bet. Or just double tap thumbs up. That's gonna get them every time. Them long tap, nah, you bothered. But that's how they buy. So that was something that I had to embrace. So in your healing, you have to embrace this new person that you are and just understand that it's okay to be different. And if you have people around you who don't understand that or who try to make jokes or who try to like get you to go back into that old self, then get them out of your life. Now, this was like predatory, I believe, but at the same time, I still want to share this story. I had a guy who was in my life like from the past. You know what? I don't even want to share that one because he irrelevant. One of my exes tried to come back into the picture, and around this time, I probably was like year 4 celibacy, and he was a very miserable human being. So he found joy in making you feel bad about yourself. So he was trying to come back into my life, talk about he changed and he just want to be friends now, blah, 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 blah. And there was a moment where I literally told this man, oh, I've been celibate for 4 years now, you know. And out of nowhere, he calls me and was like, hey, would you like to join a threesome with me? The audacity. I just laughed and said, nah, hung up the phone and blocked him. And he just started calling me from like different numbers and like hit me up on Facebook. And I'm just like, nigga, we never was on that type of time when we was dating. Why would you think celibate me would be that? So just outlandish things people will try you on when you heal just to see, are you actually healed? To test the theory. Cut them out your life immediately. The third thing that you need to do is keep reminding yourself of your why. So this is huge. So when healed feels lonely, the number one weapon you have is your why. Because you have to ask yourself, why did I go on this healing journey anyway? Because I know for me, yes, my roster was longer and more back then, but a roster of dusties is useless. Okay? If you have a roster full of dusties, is it really useful? I would get approached more because I feel the energy I was giving out was desperate. I was giving out fun girl energy, and I don't give out that no more. Like now when a dude approaches me, men don't approach me with riffraff. I'm telling you, like immediately nowadays when men approach me, they on some, hey, what's up? Let me take you out. That's why like a lot of women struggle with men taking them out on dates. I've never struggled with that. I've never struggled. Like, especially now, you know to come correct because I don't give off energy that says I'm something to play with. I don't give that energy off. And I know that's because I'm healed. I know that is for a reason. So even though it feels lonely, it's like it feels lonely, but your peace is so much more important because I be trying to go back and forth, flip-flop. It don't work. Even this time last year, I was just thanking God in the car earlier because this time last year, I was entertaining some foolishness because I just had a moment of weakness because I'm like, dang, man, I'm tired of waiting on my person. This person is decent. I'm going to just give it a try. Foolishness. Foolishness. And I ended it expeditiously. Like literally him and I were talking. He lived far. I knew him from like the past, and we kind of reconnected, and he lived far. I'm not going to say where he lived because I don't even want to hint towards any of it because I don't want him to know I'm talking about him. But he lived far. We ended up seeing each other one weekend after talking on the phone for like 2 months because he came in town. And like the link up was just not giving what it needed to give. I feel like he wasn't feeling it. I felt like I wasn't feeling it. Now, I do think he felt, because he even mentioned it, he was like, because there was a moment where I told him I kind of didn't want to talk to him because I feel like we weren't on the same page about what we wanted. Like I wanted something serious. He wasn't even trying to do that. And then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I'm going to just do it for the plot. Doing it for the plot will get you messed up. I said, I just want to meet him and just link up to see, because we hadn't seen each other in like 10 years. I just want to link up to see if there's going to be something. But deep down inside, I'm like, I'm going to link up with him one time. I'm probably never going to talk to him again because that's how diabolical I can get sometimes. So we linked up and he was just like, linking up, that's dangerous because you're probably going to want to see me again. Who? You don't know my name. You don't know who I am. So I ended up linking up with him. We spent the whole day together and I never talked to that man again. I ain't heard from him. He ain't heard from me. But it's like, I don't even do that kind of stuff no more. It's just foolishness. It's foolishness because why am I awakening my emotions and my feelings towards something that is going to be temporary? No, that's why I stopped. That's why I that's why I began to heal, because I was tired of going through the cycle of dealing with the wrong people. So focus on your why. Why did you do it? And think about how being healed is protecting you. Think about how you screen now. Think about the type of people you say no to now. Think about how you are operating now versus then. And the results of how you operate now are way more beneficial than how you operated before. Because listen, that lonely feeling is so temporary. I call it the lonely window. It's just a window of time because maybe your period just went off if you're a woman. Maybe you ain't seen your friend in a while. Maybe you had a tough week and you tired. Being tired makes you feel all types of emotions. You need a nap. You're not lonely. You need a nap. So it's temporary. The healing is way more beneficial. And then lastly, you have to stay in the atmosphere of growth at all times. This healing has to be watered. It has to be nurtured. You can't just feel like, okay, I'm going to dabble back and forth. No, then you're gonna end up back on the other end. Just like last year. That's why I had to cut dude off, because I already knew. Like, girl, you knew better. Because when you healed, you way more aware. So you know when you're doing foolishness. So I knew, like, girl, you don't want that dude. Like, you ain't finna do nothing with that. Girl, chill. Right? So you have to stay in that atmosphere. And you have to resist old habits. And it's hard, especially because healing requires a lot of discipline. Like, staying on that side of it. Because, like, think of it like an addict, right? Maybe somebody who dealt with, like, alcoholism. And they're trying to stay this new sober version of themselves. Even though they say, like, when you're alcoholic, they always call themselves alcoholic. But they're trying to keep a hold of their sobriety forever, actually. They're trying to stay sober forever, right? So they don't go into certain environments. You're not going to catch them in a bar, hopefully. You're not going to catch them at a wild rave where they're passing out free shots. You're not going to catch them in these certain environments because they're trying to stay sober. You too. You're trying to stay sober of mind. So don't keep going back to those old places and giving yourself temptation. It's like me with my celibacy. Yes, it's been a long time. But guess what? She still works. She still works. She works well too. Okay, meaning she still have those same urges. So I don't like to put myself in certain situations. Ain't nobody spending the night. For what? What we spending the night for? Because one wrong turnover, then boom, it's over. It's over. What we doing that for? All of that hot, no, I don't need to be watching steamy TV shows, fast forwarded. I'm listening to an audiobook, they getting freaky, fast forward it. Because I don't put myself in environments where I can be tempted. The same with your healing. Don't put yourself in environments where your healing can be tempted to go back to the other way. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. And you are not alone. You are not crazy. healing does get a little bit lonely or feel a little bit lonely sometimes, but understand that it is way more beneficial because we live in a society that makes it seem like I just realized this whole thing that I've been doing. If my sound sounds crazy, I thought my mic was plugged in. It was not. Y'all look, whole time, been recording this whole time, ain't no mic plugged in. Lord have mercy. I apologize if Lord have mercy. Anyway, you're not crazy. The loneliness will pass, but just understand that we live in a society that makes it seem like chaos is more fun, but it's not. Like, a lot of people lack peace and they create the chaos, but you know peace now. So trust me, when your peace is interrupted, you're going to remove whatever is interrupting it. So that is fine. Peace feels boring when it's unfamiliar, but you going to get familiar with it real quick. And this is going to pass. Okay. Well, that has been enough of me talking. I know y'all heard my dog barking in the background. He old. So it is what it is. Well, until next time, bye.